Like he wanted us to get that task right, so he didn't like the fact that he went out when we were rehearsing. And knowing him now after the house, now that I know the kind of person he is like he doesn't get angry, and you know people that don't get angry when they get angry.
Which is why everybody's like there had to be a reason why.
Yeah, but I don't think I think that's just how he gets angry when he's angry. Knowing him now.
That's what
We were in a clip, but he was never a
topic in the clip.
We never discussed him, no.
Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This is your girl Philomina in the building. If this is your first time here, you came at the absolute right time. Please do also hit on the subscription button. Thank you. If you're a regular viewer, thank you so much for always coming back to watch my videos. You know I love you so much. Without further ado, let us talk about the Big Brother NENGI lockdown reunion day 10. In this particular episode, Ebuka decided to enter the Gbas drama. So he said he's going to be talking about the epic clashes in the house. And he started by asking the housemates, oh, who clashed the most? Who did you have issues with? And T-Bad was the one that said, oh, it was boss lady Katrina. Like the issue she had with her was that she was being too bossy and all that, and she didn't like that, so she decided to give it to her. So Ebuka now started asking your housemates round that, okay, Katrina's name has come up a bit, that oh, she's a bully, she's a bossy lady, all this. They played the clip of the Gbas that went on between Katrina, T-Bad, then Lucy and Prince. So when they play that clip, you guys remember the Gbas, I'll give it to you hot. Don't talk to me. I mean, hey, bitch. So they shall play that clip. After that clip, and they came back, they now asked, okay, Praise, what's up with you and Lucy? He said he didn't understand what's up with Lucy, that it was just that Lucy just the whole food thing, that was it with Katrina and Lucy. So yeah. Ebuka now also asked Watoni that, oh, Watoni, do you agree that, oh, Katrina is being bossy and a bully? She said, well, the bully, she doesn't know, but she was being bossy in the house a lot of times, and she felt like the reason why she and T-Bad had that outburst was because T-Bad was fed up, because at the time when Watoni and Katrina had an issue, T-Bad fought for her. So she felt like you can't just be doing this to everybody, so she decided to just give it to her like that. So that was what it is. V now also went ahead to say that, okay, she also doesn't think that it is because she's a bully. It's just her bossy nature, and people didn't quite get it, people didn't really understand it. That was why she was looking like she had problems with a lot of people in the house. Moving on from there, they now asked Katrina. Katrina was not trying to explain herself that, oh, she doesn't think that anybody triggered her or anything. People were just misunderstanding her. She didn't have any one-on-one beef with anybody per se. It was just her normal self. She's just trying to be herself, and that is what it is. Moving on from there, they now asked Prince, okay, Prince, what do you have to say? Prince said, oh, that he was just really tired, that this whole thing, just like V said, is not about Katrina and the food issue. The food matter is always an issue in the house. When it comes to food, there's always an issue. So the clip that showed where Prince was just folding his arms like, these people again. So it was like he pretty much was just tired of the whole drama, and yeah, that was what it is for him. Ebuka now went ahead to ask Ozo what he thinks. Ozo now said, okay, for Lucy, the only problem that he had with Lucy, or that Lucy had with people in the house, was that, oh, she just wanted everywhere to be clean. As far as the place is clean, oh, Lucy does not have any problem with you. Then the whole food thing was maybe Katrina and maybe the boss lady thing. After this, Ebuka now said, okay, hold on. They now played a clip. The next clip they played was the clip of Ozo and Prince. You guys remember that outburst that Ozo scatter everywhere. Prince, you are not coming back here and all that. So when they came back, Ebuka started asking around, you guys, you know the reason why we all thought that Prince and Ozo had that fallout? Everybody thought that, oh, it's because of NENGI. Prince and Ozo at the time, they were in between the whole NENGI situation, triangle matter. So Ebuka asked the housemates first, general, oh, do you think that this was about NENGI? Do you think this was about NENGI? And Trigity was like, yes, so I think it was about NENGI. Every other person kept saying, yes, I think it was about NENGI. Even Prince said, yes, he thinks it was about NENGI. That he didn't think that in the first place. That's for Prince now. He said he didn't think that in the first place. But much later, when he looked back at it, and he was like, I think this is just, it just came from nowhere. So I don't understand. So when they asked Lucy, Lucy said, for how she was going to think that it was because of NENGI. But coming from the fact that Prince also had this outburst on her too, it can happen to anybody, because Prince will not have any underlying anything to come and be shouting at her and the outburst the way he did to her. So it can be that even also the outburst just came. It didn't necessarily mean to have to be NENGI. So according to Lucy, this is also karma. the way he shouts on me, I saw somebody say shouts for you. Also now started explaining himself that the same thing that he said, that the way he talks to Prince wasn't nice at all, talking to an adult that way, which he apologized almost immediately, and even the next day he still walked up to Prince to apologize, that it had nothing to do with Nengi, because even Nengi at the time was like, oh, what's up, why did you talk to him like that? So if he was doing it to impress Nengi, Nengi did not impress, so why would you even do it in verses? Ebuka now say, there's a possibility that you were doing something to impress somebody. The thing that you were doing did not impress the person. So yeah, he has a point though. But he was like, no, he doesn't think that. Ebuka now say, but you can hear from everybody that they think it was because of Nengi. So everybody has the right to think whatever they want to think. It doesn't make it true. So that is what it is. Moving on from there, Ebuka now asked Prince and also that, okay, what happened with their relationship, because it looked like they were friends before, and after the whole Nengi situation or whatever happened, their whole friendship thing, we just stopped like that. So also was explaining from his own perspective that the only problem he had with Prince was that Prince would always become sober when others win, or anytime he loses. So he's like, why are you not happy for other people? Every time that you lose, you are sad. Every time that something happens and you are not the one, you are sad. So he's like, yes, it is a competition. Yes, you win some sometimes and you lose some sometimes. So he didn't like the fact that Prince will always not be happy with him, for him or any other person. And that was the only problem that he had with Prince. And Ebuka was like, did you ask him or confront him about it? He said no, he didn't, but that might have been the only reason why he wasn't as close to Prince as much. And he said him and Prince were not really trying to be friends, because everybody was like, oh, you're trying to be friends. Like, not like they were trying to be friends. Every morning he washes his clothes after the workout, the same as Prince. So when him and Prince, they meet at the laundry station, they both have conversations. They talk about life, talk about plans, and that's what he pretty much does with everyone that he speaks to in the house. So there's no issue at all. They are cordial, and according to Ebuka, cordial is fair enough. That's how Prince entered OZO and said, coming from somebody that punched plantain because he lost. Anyways, so as he just said that one, the whole place scattered like, ha, hey, whoa. And also was like, that was pure frustration. Everybody was just trying to defend OZO somehow. That was pure frustration. That's different from you winning or losing and getting angry. Prince was not like, are you people done? Are you like, can I talk now? He now went ahead to say that that's him. He's not necessarily not happy for people who do not win. He's not just happy with the fact that he lost. And everyone will testify that when he enters that mood, he comes out of it few minutes later. It's not like he just goes throughout the day without being friendly and all that. After a few minutes, he comes back being the friendly person that he is. So he doesn't understand why they are taking it personally, and because of that, the whole clique of Nengi, OZO, V, and Nengi, they kept talking about him and even tried to sabotage him just so that he doesn't win. And at this point, there was noise everywhere. Nobody tried to sabotage you. Why would you say so? Why would you say that? And V was trying to explain to him that, see, the only issue we had with you was that you would literally be upset that you did not win, and then you make us, the rest of us in the house, start feeling sorry for you, feeling pity for you and everything. Even also made that statement. And he's like, I did not tell you people to come and feel pity for me. I decide how I want to handle my loss or whatever. It's a competition. I came here to win. Anytime I don't win, I know how I react. And I'm not doing it for you to come and pity me. It is who I am. It is how I react. It's how I handle my own situations. And about the whole sabotage thing, he said he heard. He doesn't know who now. He can't remember, but he felt that it was coming from one of them in the clique when they said, oh, Prince is the one coming next. Hide the ball well. Something like that. And they were like, no, nobody said that. Nengi was like, see, we never sat down to talk about you, Prince. Prince, you were never a topic of discussion amongst the four of us. So I don't know where all this your assumptions and everything is coming from. And the only thing that she's going to talk about Prince, that, oh, Prince, that's Nengi now. That Prince that is saying that, oh, it doesn't affect anybody. It is how he handles it. According to Nengi, affected her because when they were paired together to play the Pepsi game, you guys, you remember, according to Nengi, she was the one who made them win the first part of the game, which was the puzzle part. She ran, she got all the puzzles, put them together, and they won the first task. And then the second time when they lost, Prince went around announcing it and complaining to everybody, oh, it was Nengi that made me lose. It was Nengi that made me lose. And she's saying, how will you say it doesn't affect her? It does affect me. And I was the one that made us win. So I don't know why you are trying to blame me for the facts that we failed. So that was the point that she made. But also tried to tell him that, see, nobody is trying to sabotage you. Neo went ahead to say, see, you were the one that even tried to sabotage people, because you guys, you remember that particular game where Prince hid the ball amongst apples. I mean, look for apple among orange. When other people came, they said they saw it, and when Prince saw it, because he didn't want anybody to pass his time, Prince hid this thing under, you guys remember, he hid it such that when people came, nobody saw that apple again. No, as in nobody saw the apple. So yes, Neo went ahead to bring that point and all that. So who is now talking about sabotage, you know? So it was not like it's not even about that day, it was another day. Then Lucy now said she wants to confess something, you know, that at the time when Prince won something, be something that she also made the statements that, oh, Prince is competitive, or let Prince not even win the next one, because the last time that he won the whole pampering thing, he was telling people to cook for him, clean for him and all that, that he didn't really mean anything to her, but she just said it is not anything at all, and it wasn't from the NENGI's clique, so she decided to clear that out. But the one that, oh, it's Prince that is coming, don't hide the ball well, she's saying that no, she wasn't the one that said that one. So now we don't know who talked that one. Moving on from there, Prince also established the fact that Neo and V kept talking about him being competitive, talking about him a lot of times in the house, and he felt like, oh, what's going on with this guy? And according to Neo, he was so comfortable with V, and he could talk about just about anything with V. That he talked about almost everybody, every situation with V. That is not just Prince. So he doesn't understand why Prince is thinking that, oh, he talked about him a lot to her. That wasn't the issue. Ebuka now asked Prince first, Prince, do you think that you were a threat or a competition to the rest of the housemates? And he said yes, that he definitely feels so. He said, asking every other person, Prince was like yes, that he thinks that Prince was a competition at the time. Different people were like, oh yes, he thinks so. Ebuka went around to ask everybody if they think that what OZO said about Prince being competitive and being a sore loser, you know, that was the word that was spreading at the time. Oh, Prince gets sober anytime he lost. So he went around and was asking everybody if they agree with that. Tolani Baj said yes, it's true that she was in a situationship with him. So anytime he loses, she will be like, oh, there we go again, try to encourage him and move on. V was like, yes, he's a sore loser. No, she's not going to use the word sore loser, but she felt like he had so much pressure on himself that if he loses, that it affects him a lot, and it wasn't necessary. Though Prince was like, we are in a competition, if you cannot feel the heat, then leave the kitchen. And V is like, see, we are all in this competition. The fact that you have to play the game, whether you like it or not, you are already in the kitchen. So it's not about telling people to leave heat. The competition itself is that we are playing the game. Is when you lose and how you handle it that you think that somebody trying to compete with you, you know, that kind of thing. Then Lucy also said yes, that is it for Prince as well. Prince, whenever he loses anything, you know, he's in his elements. But according to her, she saw this is Prince, and she decided to just work with him like that. She didn't think that it was not going to make anybody stop being friends with him. To round this up, Ebuka decided to ask everybody a question. He said, who do you think fake any trigger at all? Like somebody did something for the camera. So he started asking round, and then Tricky T was like, he thinks it's Lucy, because the Lucy that he knows inside the house is not the Lucy that he knows outside the house. That Lucy inside the house, she was all explosive and all, but outside the house is like, Lucy, is this you? Lucy, you. So Prince was like, yes, he agrees with Tricky T that Lucy was so dramatic. He felt like Lucy was a fake housemate at the time, because he's like, these things that this girl used to do, I don't understand. Then Neo now said for him it was Kaisha, that Kaisha would just wake up from nowhere and just behave one kind. So he felt like it was Kaisha that was doing things for the camera. Then Nengi said she doesn't know, that nobody comes to mind. Prince also said he doesn't know, that nobody comes to mind. He didn't think that anybody was faking anything. Tolani Baj also thinks that, oh, nobody came to mind. She didn't think anybody was going to come here and fake anything. So that was Shasha how they used to end this particular episode. I'm going to end it here. Please subscribe, like, share, and I'm going to see you on my next one. Bye, guys.